Hello, it's Stephanie Miller. I'm an SEO and content marketing manager at OneUpWeb, and I'm just here today to walk you through the events report in Google Analytics 4, or GA4. So we're going to talk about just the basic events report that's provided by default in the platform. We'll talk about how those events actually get there, and then how to analyze them. So you get to the events report by going to the reports tab, emphasized by this little chart icon, and then you go to engagement and events. And here you can see just a full list of all the events coming into your website or app based on the time or the date range that you have selected. So right now we're looking at just January 24th to February 20th, not a very long period. You'll see a mix here of events that you have customized yourself and the default events that are included in GA4. And in GA4, everything is event-based. So you'll see things like session start, which means they just landed on their first page and began a session. And previously you didn't see these kinds of things in Universal Analytics because this would simply be called a session instead of being made up of several different types of events within the session. We'll get into a little bit more about how to create the custom events in here, but some examples that we can see here are this internal engagement link click event, download form submit, and contact form submit. Those are all custom events that are coming through Google Tag Manager. All right, so we're looking at all these events. It's raw data right now. So how do we actually dive in and see how things are working? Well, there are a couple of options for that. The first and easiest is using this search bar right here, which is just text, and it filters down this first column of data by event name. So if we wanted to only look at our form related events, we could type in form, press enter, and it filters it down for us. So that's the easiest way, but if you want to do a more complex filter, you can scroll up to the top, add a filter right underneath the report name, and then you can filter by any dimension that is available on this menu. So you'll see that we have some demographics, we have some custom dimensions, which we've manually set up. We have geography, and then we have what we're probably used to filtering events by, which is landing page, wherever the user entered the website, as well as page path, which is where the event happened on the website. And then we have all of these platform and device filters, we have time filters, and then channel filters. So I'm just going to do an example here where we will filter this by the session default channel group. And we could select as many or as few of these as we want. I'm going to choose organic search and paid search and click OK. And then you have to click apply down in the corner. All right, and now we are seeing a filtered view of these events. We can add then a secondary filter, or a secondary dimension, here, with this little plus sign. So right now, for example, we have it filtered down by paid search and organic search events. And then we have it filtered down to just these form submit events. I'm going to add a secondary dimension for channel so that we can see where these actually came from. And we can see, even though we have it filtered down to paid search and organic search, actually all of these came from organic search. So this is a useful way to just get a little bit more granular with the data. So if you need to see even more granular data, you can always use the Explore area of GA4, which is under here, under the main reports. And this is set up a lot like Looker Studio or Data Studio if you've ever used those tools before. and it allows you to add complex filters using regular expressions and just get a little bit more complex with how you're filtering things. All right, so now that we've gone through just the basic events report, let's talk a little bit about how these events get here. So I covered that a lot of these are just default events that are happening through GA4. Those include things like page view, session start, first visit, user engagement, and scroll. This click event is also a built-in event, and it's counting any click to an external host name, so external link clicks. Then the others here are custom. And you can make custom events either through Google Tag Manager or right within the GA4 platform. You have a lot more options through Google Tag Manager though, so this is why we're typically recommending that you set it up through Google Tag Manager if you want to track anything fairly complex like specific types of button clicks. So if we were to configure events within GA4, we would go to the admin panel, which is down here at the bottom with the settings icon. We would go to events, and then we would see a nice list here of all of the events that we currently have, including the built-in ones and the ones that we have built ourselves. So you could choose the Create Event button if you wanted to create something right from here. And there are a few options for either grabbing different events that are already present within the data layer of your website, or, for example, setting something up based on a page view event. So just mainly easy things or and page view based things are what are available here. And then you can get into deeper event tracking and more complex triggering with Google Tag Manager. You'll also see that a few of these events are toggled and to be marked as conversions. So these are the events that are truly meaningful to your business, the ones that indicate that you generated a lead or that somebody is in the lower part of your sales funnel. So it's up to you really what you mark as a conversion. However, it's important that you try not to mark too many things as conversions because it can kind of skew your data and make it look like you're filling the funnel maybe more than you are if you're looking at a collective number of conversions. So that's how to create events in a nutshell. Google has pretty good documentation about which events are built in and which ones aren't, and you can customize from there. I will also say that there is the option to turn on enhanced. I will say that there is the option to turn on advanced measurement, which you get to through your data streams. So if you click on your data stream, you'll see that enhanced measurement is turned on. And this is causing a lot of additional events to be automatically brought into GA4, and it lists them all out here. So this is where our scroll event tracking is coming from, our outbound link tracking, site search tracking, automatic YouTube embedded video tracking, and file downloads, which just means clicks on any link with a file extension of PDF or another common extension. So one reason why you would choose to turn this off is if you already had custom events that were overlapping with these and you would prefer to use the custom versions. But for the most part, it's a good idea to have this turned on. All right, so now that we've covered events, I want to also cover custom definitions. And this is a little bit complicated, but a custom definition is something that you would set up if you want to be able to export data into a reporting platform or filter down in a way that's not offered through the basic event tracking. So, for example, for our own reporting at OneUp we have all these custom events, but when we pull them into our Looker Studio reports, it's very difficult to filter them down by channel or by landing page and filter them in all the ways that we want to, so that we can have, for example, a column for form submits, a column for clicks to calls, and a column for emails by channel. It's very difficult to do this with the built-in reporting offerings from Looker Studio or from similar platforms that just use the normal Google Analytics API. So these custom metrics are basically just guaranteeing that we will be able to get more granular with reporting and pull in these metrics exactly like we would pull in something like a session. They're just included on the list of available metrics. So these are all based on the events that we already customized through Google Tag Manager. And all we needed to do to create these was click this button, give them a name, a description, and then choose the parameter that we would like to use for the event. This is the main tricky part. If you're setting your events up through Google Tag Manager, you do need to set a parameter in every tag with a value of 1 that can be pulled into this custom event. So if you ever have questions about custom metrics that we've maybe already set up for you or that you would like to set up, please let us know, and we will definitely walk you through this in more detail. All right, so that is events in a nutshell.